What? Why is it so hard to admit when I'm wrong to my partner? We're new parents and we're running completely on empty. What little way can I make sure that I'm really kind to my partner? I'm starting to date later in life. What do I do? What apps can I go to? How do I even begin to do this? How will I know when I found the one? These are all questions that we've received from you, and we are thrilled to have with us tonight our relationship expert and therapist. She's a coach and host of Love Talk Live on LA Talk Radio, Jaime Bronstein. For the past 20 years, Jaime has guided people from all over the world as we all try to navigate the ups and downs of relationships and all of the complexities that they bring to us. Jaime teaches us how to get past any issues, how to be kind to yourself, how to be kind to your partner, and how to tap into your inner strength, and get to the point where you have a relationship that you are happy with and you're achieving your goals. So we have lots of questions from you. We'll get through as many as we can. We have contact information for Jaime. And as always, at JoyLux, we're all about education and empowering women to live their best lives. So this happy hour is yet another piece of that. It is happy hour, so I can't forget to give a toast to all of the amazing and wonderful folks out there. And for the next hour, we'll be going through some amazing things that is just in time for our upcoming Hallmark holiday and beyond. Jaime, we're thrilled to have you. Thanks for joining us. Take it away.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited just to share the inspiration that I have. And I love that it's around Valentine's Day because this is the time of the year that people really think about relationships the most. So I'm just going to jump right into these questions and I'm going to answer them. Feel free to, at any point, put any questions that you have in the chat, but there will be time for question and answers at the end. And this is my happy hour water. So cheers. Okay. I didn't realize it was like a real happy hour. Okay. So the first question is, how do I know if I need a relationship expert? So I would say that if you feel like you have done everything you can on your own, whether you're in a relationship or you're manifesting love and you're single, and you just feel like you've gotten to this place where you've done everything you can and things still aren't working, I think that would be a time to go and seek out some help. And one of the things that I love to teach my clients is that, I commend them, I acknowledge them, and I acknowledge people for asking for help. In this world, we can't do it alone. We need help and we need support. So that would be, if you feel like you just need some support. The best part of what I do with my clients, I would say, is that I help them to open their eyes to things that they just weren't seeing, because I reflect back to them things like I'll hear them say something and I'll ask them a question and they'll have these aha moments. So that would be when it's time to see a relationship expert. The next question is, between COVID and the normal stresses of raising teens, my partner and I have been on relationship autopilot for a few years. How can we prioritize time for just ourselves and strengthen our connection? So I always say that you need to be intentional about carving out time for each other. You never want to get to the point where your kids are grown up, they go to college, and you look at each other and you're like, who are you? Who's this stranger that I'm living with? You really want to make it a priority to spend time together. Okay. So next question. From time to time, my husband and I get into fights over small things that we later realize weren't worth arguing about. But these disagreements still lead to hurt feelings. What are some ways that I can improve the quality of communication with my partner? So I this is what I always say to my clients. I have my clients, my couples, make a vow to each other. And that is, I vow to validate what you're saying. You don't even need to understand each other, but just at least validate what each other is saying. Because the best feeling in this world is to feel seen and heard. And you do not want to, you never want to judge. And the interesting thing about judging, why it's a relationship killer and why it's so just not helpful for relationships, is that it's actually, well, when you judge, it keeps you disconnected. So obviously in a relationship, you want to be connected. So just don't judge. And an interesting thing about judging is that it's actually a projection, which means that it actually has something to do with what's going on inside of you. So I recommend that you own your stuff. When couples can own their issues and then resolve them and do their own work that they need to do to resolve those issues, it makes for such a healthier and peaceful relationship. So if you have more questions about that, if you want to work with me or any professional therapist or coach, I highly recommend doing that. And I'm going to remind you of that throughout this session because it really is important to resolve your unresolved issues in order to manifest love and also to create a better relationship. So, next question, why is it so hard for me to admit that I'm wrong when my partner and I disagree? How can I feel less defensive? So, this to me is very simple. First of all, the goal is love. You want to do everything with love. You want to have your conversations with love. So, you want to start out this conversation with, I love you. And then you share what you have to say. And you want to use I statements. Now, you guys have probably heard this before. Maybe you haven't. But the reason why that's so powerful is because when you say, I'm feeling hurt, I'm angry, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, instead of you're a horrible person or you're an effing anything, something like that, okay? Then the other person is not going to be defensive because how can they? I mean, they can choose to argue with how you're feeling, but that wouldn't be very kind. So I just encourage you to tap into your feelings and really ask yourself, how am I feeling? And then you share how I'm feeling. I'm feeling whatever it is, and to honor it also, and to not have fear that by expressing your feelings that your significant other is going to leave, it doesn't matter how they're going to react. Having no attachment to the outcome of how they're going to react, that's none of your business. It sounds funny to say that, but the most important thing is that you're honoring your voice. Okay, so next question. And by the way, this is under the topic of relationship advice. This is the last question in this section. Then we're going to get to dating advice. So we're new parents. The sleep deprivation is really getting to us, leading to snapping at each other when we're feeling overwhelmed. How can we work through stress and communicate kindly with each other? Okay, so first of all, when you have a baby, I have a 6-year-old now. I don't remember how long it lasted, but there's something called survival mode. So just allow yourself to be in survival mode. It's okay. It's all okay. Everything is okay. Be gentle with yourself and be gentle and kind and have compassion for what each other is going through. Everybody has different ways of dealing with everything in life, with loss, with grief, with having a new child. So just have compassion for each other. Know that you're in survival mode. Know that it's not always going to be like this. And once again, just try to really listen to each other without judgment. Okay. So, another thing I wanted to say about that is if you're feeling, because of the lack of sleep, very worked up, you're very angry, take a step aside. Just say to your significant other, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, say to them, I'm going to take a moment, because the worst thing, you never want to say something while you're in that heightened emotional state, because you can't take words back, and words are hurtful. So I always say to calm down first, take a moment to be able to process how you're actually feeling so that when you come back, you can actually articulate in a concise way how you're feeling. Okay, moving on to this is the next section. Date, and we're good on time. I was so worried that we weren't gonna have enough time because we have dating advice, and then we have sex and intimacy advice and self-love advice. So moving on to dating advice. For all you singles out there, it's going to happen. First of all, just know that you're going to find a person. Okay. So this person wrote in, I'm in my mid 50s and back on the dating scene for the first time in decades. Everything is so different from the last time I was single. What are some simple tips for dating later on in life? And are dating apps worthwhile at my age? I'll just start with that part. Yes. 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 I have clients that range from people in their 20s to their 70s, and I've even had some 80s, okay? So people are on the apps. Even the older people are on the standard apps, the Bumbles and the Hinges out there. There definitely are the silver singles. There are certain apps that are for older people. First of all, 50 is not even old anyway. But anyhow, so I highly recommend apps no matter what age you are, and use them all because it's a numbers game. You want to maximize your chances of your opportunities of meeting a person. So this is what I recommend. You're getting back out there. I recommend doing the healing work. And I had mentioned this a little while ago. And what that means is look at your past relationships and figure out what you need to work on so that it's not stuck in there still. And with this, you can go to a coach or a therapist. You can read self-help books. You can log on to or click on one of my links, my 7 days of manifesting love. I give you an exercise and affirmation every day for 7 days through email. There are lots of ways to start to learn how to figure out what these unresolved issues even are. Do that work so that you are able to show up in life as your authentic self so that you can, through the law of attraction, manifest that right person for you. Because that right person exists. Everybody comes to this world and there's a lid for every pot. There is someone for everyone. And the work that I do, the book that I'm writing, it's not about manifesting anybody. This is about manifesting the right person for you. It's very powerful work and everybody can do it. Okay, so next question. I also recommend, by the way, doing getting empowered by resolving your unresolved issues and by showing up as your authentic self. It is very empowering and you want to feel fully you as a whole person. I always say it's two whole people coming together, forming this new entity, two lights coming together, forming even more light in this world when you've found your soulmate. Okay, so I've been casually dating for a few years after my divorce, and while I'm having fun, I don't feel like I've met the one yet. How will I know when I find the right match for me? So I have a whole list, but I always like starting with, you'll know. It's like when you know, which people say. So, and one way you'll know is if you feel peace in your heart. Another way is if you feel like you've never felt this way for anybody else. So it feels different in the most beautiful way. When your heart feels like it's at peace, but yet on fire at the same time. When you miss the person, because not everybody misses who they're with. So that's a big thing. Also, when you feel at home, and this isn't a comfort thing necessarily. This is I feel it's a familiarity. Like it sounds cliche, but like I've known you before. So that's what home means to me. When you feel like this person is home to you. when you're intrigued by the person, and when you have fun, when you're doing new things together, having adventures, and when you can truly, truly, truly be your authentic self, which I will continue reminding all of you about because it's very, very it's crucial. It's essential in manifesting love. It's showing up as your authentic self. So when you can absolutely be yourself with this person, that is huge because it's freedom. And when you feel seen and heard, like we were talking about before, when you feel seen and heard, that's a gift. And also when you value each other, when you prioritize each other. So, all of that said, that's when you know you've found your person. And also intuition, which is one of my favorite topics. You'll just know. You'll just know. I'm a very intuitive person. I attribute it to I don't know, part of it is being a Pisces, but I don't know. I've just always been intuitive, and what I've learned over the past, let's say, I don't know, 10 years, I've strengthened my intuitive muscle as well because it is a muscle. Everybody's born with an intuition. So I would say, and I'm happy to work with you. This is one of the things I do with my clients. Work on strengthening your intuition, which is really your connection with yourself. Because I didn't even have to say that whole list of how do you know if you found your person, because when you are really connected with yourself and you have strengthened your intuition, you just know. It's a yes. It's when you don't have to talk yourself into anything. It's just a yes. And some people might disagree with this. I'd like to say also when you feel like there's just no doubt, because doubt is fear. And in life, there's two things, there's fear and there's love. So to me, it's when it's just love. Okay, next question. I'm excited about dating in theory, but when I actually start getting to know someone, I notice that I start to judge them harshly and push them away. Should I trust my gut or am I missing out by bailing too early? So there's a lot of things I want to talk about here. The first thing is we were talking about judging before and how judging just keeps you disconnected. Judging in this situation also means that, to me, what I'm hearing is that your heart is not open, your walls are up, there's fear involved. And you can try to keep yourself from not getting hurt all you want, but that's never going to bring you to your person. Love takes risks. So I would encourage you to look at why your walls are up to once again resolve those unresolved issues. Because also, people, as you're dating, your date can pick up on this energy that your wall's up, and it's just unattractive. And there's no way that you can actually connect. There's no way that you can actually be vulnerable. So I would say do that work to bring those walls down so that your heart can be open. Stop trying to protect yourself. And trust. Just trust the process, trust yourself, and have fun. It doesn't need to be this intense thing. I think that dating is fun. And if you can look at it as fun and not anxiety producing, just go in with a lighthearted attitude, it's going to make all the difference. Okay, so, and then should I trust my gut or am I missing out by bailing too early? As I was saying before, we talked about it, your intuition. Always trust your gut. If you're with this person, you're on a date, instead of sitting there worrying, does this person like me? I have a pimple. Does my hair look okay? Focus more on how am I feeling, because that is what matters. If it feels good, then that's a yes. Then you just trust your gut. If it feels off or if you feel like there's red flags, that's a no. It's very simple. It takes practice, but it's very simple. Okay, so I've been dating someone special for a few months now, and I think I'm in love. Should I say I love you first or wait to make sure we're both on the same page? I wrote one word, just one word: intuition, once again. Now, there's so many factors that go into answering this question, like age, um, maturity level. Like, say, I don't know, just say, I'll just give you an example. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s, okay, and I was dating guys that are in their 20s. That's a time when I would recommend waiting for the guy to say it first. That's what I did because guys that are a little immature, not as evolved, tend to get scared off and might run. Now, this doesn't mean that this is every situation at all. So I'd say when you're younger, perhaps wait for the other person to say it first. However, like I said, every situation is so different. If you feel like this is a mutual thing, maybe the other person is just scared and you want to break the ice, you want to get to that next level, you want to just feel empowered and feel free to speak your voice, which is a wonderful thing that I've learned as I've gotten older, then definitely say it first. And it's interesting because I gave you that example from when I was younger. Looking back, I probably would have said it. I probably would have said it, knowing what I know now about being empowered and being free. But at the same time, however, you need to know your audience because every person is so different. Every relationship is so different. So trust your intuition. If you feel like it's the right time, go for it. And also, there is something so special and so just self-affirming to be able to say how you're feeling in any situation. And if it happens to be that you want to tell the person that you love them, then go for it. So I don't know if that was a helpful answer or not, but we'll just go back to my first word, which was intuition. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. If you feel like it's right, then just say it. And no attachment to the outcome. Because the truth is that the right person, like your person, if it's right, then whether they say it back that second or not, it's going to work out. It's either going to work out or it's not. So if you can have that freedom of having no attachment to the outcome, then it just makes for a freer life, a more peaceful life. Okay. So that was the last question in that section. Next section is sex and intimacy advice. So, and we have two questions here. There are times that I'm just not in the mood for sex, but I really want to maintain that intimate connection with my husband. What can I do to help improve my sex drive? Okay, so there are a bunch of things. The first thing that came to me when I was putting this together, thinking about this, is exercise. Personally, I don't like exercising. I'm just being honest. I don't like it, but I do it because I know I want to live a long life and it is so good for me. Okay. Exercise is good for your mind, your body, your soul, your just everything. When you exercise, it's kind of like sleep. Like when you get proper sleep, proper exercise, you function better and you live a longer life. So, an exercise, it releases neurotransmitters, these feel good neurotransmitters like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. And these are hormones that are these feel good hormones that when you're getting your body moving and your brain is moving and working and things are moving all throughout your body, you naturally will have more of a libido. So, exercise. Also, get your hormones checked. Highly recommend it. And this goes for any age. A lot of people think that people that are older have hormone imbalances, but I've had tons of clients that once they 20s in their 20s and 30s, once they go to their doctor and they get the blood test or however they get their hormones checked and they realize that, oh, I've been moody or I haven't had the sex drive or or whatever, or depressed or really stressed out, my cortisol levels are so high, it's because the hormone levels are off, and that can affect your libido. So make sure that you get your hormones checked and that they are all good to go. Food. I'm going to recommend. Now, I didn't do any type of specific research. I do know that dark chocolate is an aphrodisiac, and then they say, is it mussels or oysters? One of those. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. But we are what we eat, and there are definitely certain foods and certain supplements that can raise your libido. Dr. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I interviewed him on Show Love Type. He's phenomenal. You might want to Google him and maybe read some of his books. He talks a lot about this, also about supplements and how men and women are so different, and men and women need different supplements. But yes, so you want more intimacy with your husband, do all these things. And finally, 2 more things. Herbs. You can go to an herbalist. I recommend doing some research to go to somebody who really knows what they're talking about. Traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, go to one of those types of people. They can give you some good herbs that can help with your sex drive. And then finally, I don't know where they are in this development, but I know that throughout the past, whatever, how many years, they've been working on a Viagra for women. So check that out. Ask your doctor if this is available yet. I actually don't know, but I do know that there are tons of products out there. Talk to your doctor. Always talk to your doctor first before you take anything. I actually had this male client, I think it was last year, and he was asking about taking, it wasn't Viagra, it was some kind of something that you order online. And I said, you know what? Go to your doctor. Just talk to your doctor. I'm your therapist. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. And then whatever. So yeah. So check out this new Viagra for women thing. Okay, so next question. Besides physical touch, what are some ways that I can express love and appreciation for my partner that they'll appreciate? So I wrote 2 words. Well, I wrote 3 words altogether. First, I wrote 2 words, which are thank you. So let's say your husband does the dishes or does the laundry and he normally doesn't, or he hadn't in a while, or he does it every day. Say thank you, gratitude, because you don't even realize how much it helps a relationship when the other person hears thank you and when you thank that other person. And that right there, it can be an aphrodisiac. I mean, I've heard stories of couples that the wife will say, thank you so much for doing the dishes. And the husband all of a sudden just feels really good about himself. It's almost like this ego boost. And then they start making out in the kitchen and they have sex. So gratitude. And then also surprises. I love surprises in general. And in relationships, surprises, creativity, these are ways to show that you love each other without actually touching each other. And oftentimes, these surprises, this appreciation leads to physical intimacy. A fun thing to do also is to make coupons. Like, here's a coupon for a free massage, and they can use it. You can give this as it's a good Valentine's Day gift or a birthday gift or just an out of nowhere surprise. It's Wednesday, or it's, Wednesday, hump day. Here's some coupons. Okay. We are almost done, and then we'll have time for questions. Self-love advice. So the question is, I'm not in a relationship right now and really dreading Valentine's Day this year. What can I do to feel more positive and less lonely when everyone's talking about love? Okay, so I was on a TV show a few years ago, and it was right around Valentine's Day, and the topic was singles. How do we celebrate singles? And so I would just recommend be present. Know and believe and trust that you are going to find your person someday, but accept where you are right now and use this time to do this work, to be able to show up as your authentic self. Use this time to do all the steps that I can send you of manifesting love, trusting, believing, visualizing, surrendering, etc. I can get more into that. And if you want to work together or if you get my emails, etc. So use this time to just embrace it, accept it. There's such beauty and freedom, once again, in acceptance versus resistance in life. Accepting where you are at all times, because the truth is that when you accept it, your person is actually going to come in before you know it versus resisting. The universe gives us what we focus on. So if you are focused on this sucks, these low vibrational feelings, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm sad, then it's going to be, and you're not really in your authentic self because you're not feeling very good. So raise your vibration, be in acceptance, believe and trust that you're going to find your person. And through the law of attraction, you will. So embrace being single, be present. And let's see what else I wrote about that. This is big. A lot of people are feeling lonely in relation. They're already in a relationship. So I just wrote, it's better if you are feeling lonely, just know it's better to feel lonely just if you're by yourself than to be in the wrong relationship because you settled or it wasn't the right person and feeling lonely that way. So, and know that it's a finite amount of time that you're going to feel lonely if you are feeling lonely. Just wanted to put it out there. And finally, last question. Between work and family, I often feel burned out by the end of the week and realize that I haven't prioritized myself at all. What kinds of things can I do to care for myself and appreciate myself more? The first thing that came to me was just go and get a massage. But believe me, I know that that is not what always is available or possible. I've been dreaming of getting a massage for years. So now I just was in that dream. I'll come back now. Okay, so there are lots of things you can do. You need to cultivate time for yourself. In a relationship, it's important to have your individual time so you can come back together feeling like you aren't drained, feeling like you are excited to see each other and be happy. So whoever you're in a relationship with, and if there's kids involved, talk to your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, and say, you know what, this day or this time is going to be my time. If it's the same time every week, that's great. If you, on Sunday, say this week, I would like this time for myself, or 2 days, pick 2 hours, whatever. Communicate that you need this time and do whatever you want to do at that time. Go get a manicure, do it up, pedicure. Pedicures are great because you actually do get the foot massage in the pedicure. Also, go and exercise. Go to a fun I'm saying fun exercise class. And I know I said before that I don't like exercising, but I actually do like going to exercise classes with fun music. So exercise, that is self-care. That is saying I respect myself. I'm respecting my body, my heart, my mind, because I know that exercise is so good for me. I put self-help books. That's a way to take care of yourself. Therapy, obviously. Beautiful, 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 beautiful way to take care of yourself. That 1 hour a week, that's all for you. You can vent whatever you need to do. You grow and you learn and you thrive from going to therapy, and you resolve these issues that need to be resolved. So I highly recommend going to a coach or a therapist as self-care. It's a gift to yourself. And then just that self-love work, regardless of how you do this work. And feel free, once again, to reach out to me. This is the beginning of whether you're manifesting love or you're manifesting a better relationship. You need to unconditionally love yourself so that you can bring in unconditional love and also mutually unconditionally love each other if you're in a relationship. So That's pretty much, those are all the questions. And if there are any questions that have come in, feel free to ask. Heather, I don't know if you've seen any questions. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to just wrap it up and I'm going to talk about my free gifts once again. So I have 2 gifts. One is for single people. This is 7 days of manifesting love. You'll receive a personal email from me for 7 days, and every day there's an affirmation and an exercise. And feel free to just reply to the email if you have any questions about anything in that email. And then the one for manifesting a better relationship, same concept, 7 days, affirmations, exercises, where you will be receiving just lots of nuggets of ways to make your relationship. I don't like saying make your relationship better, but this is making your relationship the way that you would like it to be. And something about that is both people in a relationship need to have the willingness to make it work. And sometimes relationships are meant to be, and sometimes they aren't. However, if 2 people have that willingness, then you can absolutely make it work. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's my pleasure, my joy, my purpose to talk about love, relationships, dating. I work with singles, couples, breakups, and divorces. And this is what I breathe, sleep, everything besides being a wife and a mom. I work a lot, but I call it my heart work because I love it. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. Thank you.